Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe-Jin Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm One Jin.
Today we're going to talk about... Actually, we're just going to talk about Ridley Scott's movies. Napoleon is dropping soon. Joe-Jin Movie So Awesome is yet to be a huge channel that it can be, so we did not get any review copies and stuff. But we will definitely be watching Napoleon when it drops next week. But we wanted a chance to just talk about Ridley Scott in general.
Yeah, because he's one of our favorite directors.
Yeah, definitely.
And we love his work.
So spoilers ahead for every Ridley Scott movie ever made. If you have not watched them, a lot of them are 40 to 50 years old now. So you're pretty late on the bus, but here we go. Man, I'm so glad Ridley Scott is... I'm happy for two reasons. One is that finally a movie about Napoleon is dropping. Well, not finally. There were movies about Napoleon, but not on like this blockbuster scale, I think.
And especially from the hands of like a master director.
Yeah. Because Ridley Scott is definitely a master. I love every one of his movies, even the bad ones. I mean, quote unquote bad ones. Because
What were some movies that that did not get as favorable a review as his good ones?
Didn't he do Exodus, like the 10, like the one with Christian Bale and Abraham? He did a lot of movies, man. Like, hey, let's pull Ridley Scott's Wikipedia page up and see his filmography. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be surprised. He got a lot of movies under his belt. Like,
I mean, one of his most famous one would be Alien, the first one. The first Alien.
Blade Runner.
Yeah. And we also have
Gladiator.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
It stars from 1965. It's called Boy and Bicycle. It's a short film.
Yeah, but the real one that made him famous is The Duelist. Like, I mean, not famous, but him, like, notice. And then Alien made his basically made him the Ridley Scott we know today.
Yeah, 1979.
Oh, G.I. Jane, there we go.
Oh, G.I. Jane was Ridley Scott's work.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
Hannibal and Black Hawk Down, there we go. So here's a man who have made Robin Hood was such a failure. Yeah, see? Body of Lies, wow.
That one was the one with DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Russell Crowe?
And Prometheus, there we go. He has like a banger at least one or two banger every decade.
And what I like about him is the fact that his films are so broad in terms of spectrum.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
because I mean, when you look at other directors, they have a certain style. I mean, it's not a bad thing that you have your own style, like Tarantino or Martin Scorsese. But Ridley Scott, just like I was surprised by the fact that his G.I. Jane was his work, he does a lot of different types of movie. I mean, for example, Alien and Blade Runner, they're like classic science fiction. And then we have these like historical epic, like Kingdom of Heaven.
Oh, there's a cult classic
Gladiator.
right there, Thelma and Louise.
Oh, Thelma and Louise, that's right.
Oh shit, I remember Alien Covenant and All the Money in the World dropped in the same year. He's so badass that he can drop two movies in a year like DMX drops two albums.
Yeah, when he's like, I don't know, 80 years old or 70 years old or something.
Yeah. He's so active because like I love his interviews too. You know he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's like, hey, he's kind of like Tarantino in that way. He don't give a fuck. Yeah, he just like, and he's one of those guys that has to keep like working. And I like that.
And it kind of feels like he knows what he wants to do, and he knows how to do it, and he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't care what other people think. Remember when Tarantino got his first Oscar with Pulp Fiction? Or was it the Academy Awards? Or was it... Oh, it was the Cannes. He got the Palme d'Or.
Yeah, the Cannes.
Yeah, and there was a critic who was yelling like a curse word in French, and he was like, yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah. I mean, and hey, I kind of disagree on you when you say every one of them. Okay, you didn't say that. What I wanted to say was every one of his film is genius in the camera work, though. There's always a memorable scene. there's always a memorable scene.
Yeah, and that already begins with Alien. Because remember, we're in a confined space on that spaceship.
Yeah.
And the way the camera work, like, terrifies us, it's so impressive that we have very brief moments of Alien actually showing up. But all the rest of the time, we just feel like we're being watched. That we feel like we're being hunted. It's terrifying.
And another thing I wanted to say is, like, his films sometimes almost feel like naturalism, like the way the French use it. What I mean by that is, his environments are characters.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very different from, I think, Scorsese. Because, I mean, Scorsese, he does present environments, but it's always about the people. But Ridley Scott, like, remember, but like Blade Runner, like, Ridley Scott movies are not known for their dialogues. Some of them are.
Yeah.
But like he's so good at making this place something alive. And I think that has to do with his impeccable, like, genius visual genius, and his understanding of, like, camera. Like, what's the professional word for that?
Cinematography.
Exactly. Like, that's why he can do such scale or such small scenes where the environment is very, very important.
Oh, we have ZZ. Alien is my favorite.
ZZ? Yeah.
Is that memorable scene his signature?
Definitely. I mean, like, and, you know, some of the more famous scenes from Ridley Scott movies also don't have musics.
That's a good point.
Yeah. He's really good at just letting the environment speak in terms of sound and everything. And I just love a director that lets the environment be the music, so to speak.
And that also happens with Alien.
Yeah, remember that dripping sound from the... And that poor guy is walking in.
It's very unpleasant.
Or Blade Runner, where... there's this, like, 80s music playing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to mention. Yeah. Like you said, he's brilliant in making these scenes where he lets the scene become the music itself. But he's also great at incorporating music. And that happens with Blade Runner, that synthesizer music.
Yeah.
Also, we have that with Hans Zimmer in Gladiator. Yeah. Gladiator also had great music.
You can argue that Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve wouldn't exist without Ridley Scott, like their movies, because their movies are like the kind of scenery they present. I mean, this is just my personal opinion. I'm sure people know, like, is from Ridley Scott.
Yeah, it has this very epic vibe.
Yeah, and remember in Blade Runner 2, like, people remember the dialogue because it's so famous. That one, have you ever seen the stars blow up, motherfucker? I lived for 2 years, but fuck you. I'm Taoist, like, I'm Master Chang Chun and I'm dying, Harrison Ford. Fuck you. But like, but what's known for is, like, those dark scenes. Remember with the owl? He's so good at giving us like. Let's talk about the recent one, the Duel.
Oh, the Last Duel.
The Last Duel.
The Last Duel. The one with Matt Damon and Adam Driver.
Remember that when Adam Driver's chasing her and that castle is suddenly this horror house?
Yeah.
That's Ridley Scott. Like, all these, like, dark shades, everything is so fucking messed up. Like, he's so good at, like, the castle itself becomes a prison. And the use of lighting and shadow, like, Ridley Scott, like, this is why we love Ridley Scott movies. I'm sure, like, every, like, filmmaker looks at Ridley Scott and they're like, this is my, like, what do you call it? Like, textbook.
So, like you said, Denis Villeneuve.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're not French, so we're not trying to be funny. We just don't know how to pronounce the name.
I mean, we see from movies like Dune, for example, that he is capable of pulling a blockbuster with meticulous detail. And we see that already with a lot of Ridley Scott's movies.
Well, with Denis Villeneuve, you can talk about Blade Runner 2049. He's basically, it's like an homage.
Yeah.
The whole movie is an homage. It's like an upgrade with recent technology. And, you know, that's the brilliance of Ridley Scott, really. And, you know, and good thing you point out is, you know what I love about it? I think he's a fighter. Like he sees a script. I'm going for this. Like he's not picky at all. Give it to me. Is it Gladiator? I'll make it look so awesome. Like I you know what I love about Ridley Scott is every one of his historical movies are historically inaccurate as fuck. Like, he don't give a fuck. Like some historic comments, he's just probably like, that's a bad movie. And then,
that's not the point here.
Yeah. And let's go for it. And then and I think he's also a director that lets like actors do their stuff. I think he's very good at that actually. I'm not sure if he's like he gives them a lot of freedom like Scorsese is known to. Like give him like you do. Go for it. But
actually, Scorsese sometimes gets irritated because DiCaprio would say too many things in ad lib.
Oh, really?
And he has to retake the shot again. He yells at him.
Oh, really?
Stick to the script.
I guess it's like a case by case thing.
So it kind of depends.
I guess so. But Ridley Scott just because if you think about it, his movies make his actors look amazing.
I mean, he made Russell Crowe into a superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he was in other movies like L.A. Confidential, I think I remember.
Right. Yeah.
But he was not really getting much attention. But Gladiator just instantly made him into a superstar.
Yeah. But I heard that for that movie, though, a lot of the Maximus's stuff was like Russell Crowe's idea, though. And like even the dialogue, a lot of it, like I think the rumor back then from like tabloids was like he was shouting at like the screenwriters, "This is garbage. I can do better. Let me do this. Sucks, but I'll make it look cool." And then he kept doing it, and he made so many memorable lines. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Oh, I think I read that too. He hated the scene where he had to say, you know that signature scene where he has to turn around and take off his helmet.
Oh yeah.
Russell Crowe did not want to say that line because he thought it was really cheesy.
No, but it was amazing.
But Ridley Scott insisted that this has to be done.
Oh, wow.
This has to be done.
Ridley was
There's
right.
Like Maximus Decidius Meridius.
Yes.
General of the Felix Legion.
Yeah.
And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, husband to a murdered wife.
Loyal servant to the emperor, blah, blah, blah.
The true emperor. All made up, by the way. Like,
that is not Roman history.
No, there was a gladiator called Maximus, but it wasn't like that at all. And Commodus was an asshole, but he didn't kill his father, guys. But anyway, but the point is, it was entertaining as fuck.
That's right.
And, like, see, even the scene, remember the scene with the tigers?
Oh, yes.
Like, Ridley Scott is so good with practical effects.
The reason, just to mention one more thing on the tiger, the reason why that was so amazing was that because it was real.
Yeah.
That was like some analog action blockbuster shit.
Yeah. I think in Gladiator, only like CG was the surrounding Colosseum.
Oh, that's right.
They made the base, but they couldn't make the top. So I think so. But like all genius directors, I think he wants some analog, even if he brings CG. And even with CG, I think the latest CG, the only bad CG I can remember is from Alien Covenant, when the alien just drops out in daylight and starts running.
Yeah, that one
was kind of bad.
It was kind of disruptive for me.
But Prometheus was amazing, even with some of the CG. Like, so Ridley Scott just knows how to handle his stuff. I mean, and think about it. Michael Fassbender did a memorable role under him.
That's true.
Yeah.
And back then, Michael Fassbender, he was starting to get a lot of attention. I think, and he did a tremendous job in the movie.
I think this his Uver and the actors that are in it just shows that if you're an actor and you get a Ridley Scott movie project offer, you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, even Danny McBride was in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, remember Danny McBride?
He was a hidden gem. He was a hidden gem on that one. He was definitely the better part of that movie. Because Prometheus was amazing. Alien Covenant was a little bit. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed at that. But Napoleon, I am a little bit worried about. I may be getting ahead of myself, but I hope the movie doesn't have a lot of CG. I do want to see some like Braveheart style like violence.
I think we will get that because this is like 19th century military campaign, and I mean Ridley Scott. If there's any director who's better at handling these like large scale battles, I think it's Ridley Scott. We saw that in Kingdom of Heaven. We saw that in Gladiator. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna do a great job, and maybe they will have, CGI, but I'm guessing that, judging from his past styles, I think we're gonna see a lot of like the analog action that we like, because we also saw that in what's it called, the last duel, was it?
Yeah.
Last Duel. I mean, the last 10 minutes that was like breathtaking.
Yeah, there was also a raid scene in the beginning of that movie, right? Yeah, that was good. Yeah, but another thing is, here's the thing though, Napoleon is a real person, and I think he's more famous than Kingdom of Heaven's Baldwin or
Saladin.
Well, Saladin I think is very famous in the Arab world, but here I think that will become an issue though. I think I don't know if I'll have an issue with it, but I think knowing Ridley Scott, he's probably gonna just do some shit with Napoleon stuff to make it dramatic. Because the problem with handling Napoleon is Napoleon's life is so well documented because it's like only 200 years ago, so that might be an issue.
So there's just very little room
for interpretation
to be creative with it. But judging from what I saw in the trailer, I think we're seeing like the rise of Napoleon and
his fall
and his fall overall, and I think he will probably stick to what we already know in history books, but I think he's gonna attempt to personal get close and personal with Napoleon. So
but when you get an actor like Joaquin Phoenix, you got to use him. And the great thing about Joaquin Phoenix, who recently started the Joker, by the way, he has a huge range. So I think we're gonna get to see the man Napoleon. And I'm not sure if Ridley Scott ever did I think the last one he did like this is American Gangster, and the fact that Frank Lucas and the cop was the two like protagonists basically. But this one is, I think it's going to be Napoleon and Josephine in that format. Because he's really good at bringing in two characters. And
this is not the first time he's doing a movie
right,
character
Gladiator.
who's based on like a true story.
Yeah.
I mean, American Gangster, Frank Lucas.
Yeah.
He's a real person.
Highly
also,
fictionalized.
What's it called? All the Money in the World.
Oh, yeah.
Getty.
Yeah.
John Paul Getty, he was a real person.
Right.
So maybe we can expect something similar with Napoleon.
So that's what I'm trying to say, Wenjin. If it's similar, it's gonna be fucking fiction. It's gonna be so fiction that I'm pretty sure some historian is gonna be. Yeah. Remember seeing his signature? Alien is definitely what he's really known for, ZZ. But other movies always have, because a scene stealer. For me, in American Gangster, it was when he shot Idris Elba in the head. And when he crushed one of his...
with the piano.
Yeah.
His cousin or nephew or something.
Yeah. And Denzel just kills it.
Yeah, and then he's like, that's a $25,000 alpaca. Get the blood out.
Yeah. Yeah. Denzel just sells it so well. He's so passive-aggressive in that one. Like, he's this, like a calculating guy. And, oh, man. But I can't wait to see Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, and Kingdom of Heaven, you got two memorable scenes, for me at least. One is when Baldwin and Saladin meet. And Saladin,
Jerusalem has come.
Jerusalem has come. And the fucking, the mist. And the cross.
The flags.
And the Saladin rides in. And then he tells his bodyguard to stay back. And then he says, "Leave this matter to me." And then Baldwin badass saying, "I pray you go safely back to Damascus." Getting young will be punished. But I'll do it my way or we'll all die here. And another thing is between Baldwin and Saladin.
It's like, I'll send you my physicians.
Yeah.
There's so much mutual respect. It's like boss against boss.
Yeah. Yeah. He's so great at... Okay, here's we go. He's so good at doing his story stuff because he's so good at bringing it down to its essence. Like a true artist. And that's why Kingdom of Heaven is still relevant.
Yeah.
Look at the Middle East today. I mean, what's happening today?
Yeah.
And
1,000 years later, we're still over the same problem.
Yeah. See, this is why. Hey, I would dare say Ridley Scott is above in stature to Christopher Nolan and Tarantino. Because here's a director that is spanning 50 generation of films, and it's still relevant. Like Napoleon's budget is $200 million. Like Ridley Scott comes in and says, "Give me the fucking money," like in his like British way, and like no one can. He's like really. Ah, God. And I love his flavor of movies. I bet if you and I have like a director movie marathon, I have a feeling that Scorsese might bore us. This is the fist bafungu we heard. We're like, shut the fuck up.
Forget about it.
Yeah, but Ridley Scott is like every flavor. Baskin Robbins, 31 films. Like if you want like a gangster film, he got it.
I mean, the only thing he didn't do is, I think, it's like a comedy.
You think so? But like, but I do think he mixes comedy like in drama films though. Wouldn't you say? Because American Gangster is almost like a drama film though, right? It's a gangster drama film.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, maybe in American Gangster we do have some like comedic moments, especially with RZA.
Yeah, and Thelma and Louise has it, I think too. Yeah, and like I would say Ridley Scott is a true feminist. You know that?
That's right. I mean, look at Alien.
Yeah. And G.I. Jane, like he
G.I. Jane, suck my dick.
Yeah. He does it by he doesn't even the Last Duel. I feel like Ridley Scott is truly a feminist now, like
because there's a strong message there.
Yeah,
it's like a battle against these like misogynists basically.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, I mean, if you haven't seen The Last Duel, I strongly recommend it. In the last part where Adam Driver is basically like hung upside down, like an animal, just with any second, I mean, the female protagonist could have been killed just like him over a duel between two men who had nothing to do with her justice and innocence.
Yeah. I mean, Last Duel is Zezzy, I like the fact that he does so fast and new style. He doesn't get stuck with just one. I agree, but he always bring his flavor though. Yeah. Because Last Duel is a movie that can only be made by somebody who made a lot of movies. Because it's like almost like 3 movies in one.
Yeah, and if it's poorly made, it could quickly bore us because we see the same event and episode like in different people's perspective. Yeah, but. I didn't get bored because I could see the subtle changes in the details, and that was all intentional of the direct. I mean, those are all intentions of the director. So it was really interesting. There was a very similar movie that I got bored with. It was called Vantage Point, I think. It had Forrest Whitaker. Like same episode happens over and over again, and it kind of bores you towards the end. But this movie, I mean, also it ends with that dramatic duel between.
I mean, there's a build up to that, right?
They build up to that moment.
Yeah, and but I also I lost my train of thought when you helped me. I really spent all my energy.
I'm guessing Joe's hungry right now. He's low on blood sugar.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But anyway, so what I gotta say is that Ridley Scott, he has a flavor of everything, like you said. Baskin and Robbins, 31 flavors, and with every different genre, he is.
It makes me miss Tony Scott.
Oh, that's right. Rest in peace.
Yeah, because
I also loved his movies. Isn't Top Gun his movie?
I think so.
Tony Scott? Didn't Tony Scott direct Top Gun?
But Tony Scott's favorite movie for me is Crimson Tide.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they're brothers, by the way. But Tony Scott passed away, I think, 15 years ago. I think around that time. But I mean, even Ridley Scott's son is director, so that's interesting. But I think they're really a visual family because Tony Scott's movies are also very iconic. Remember, like that. Like I think Michael Mann and Tony Scott are very similar.
Oh, I agree. I agree. They're very. I mean, I think Michael Mann is a little more. He's drier. It's very dry.
Yeah.
But Tony Scott, I think it has like the right balance between like this dryness and this visceral action. I think there was also this movie where this train gets like Hijack.
Yeah.
What was that? I think it also had Denzel.
Yeah. But Tony Scott movies is known for, you know what Tony Scott is like, I like about his is like, I think there's a huge difference between Ridley Scott and Tony Scott. Like, I think Ridley Scott likes his camera stationary, but Tony likes it.
Oh, Man on Fire.
Yeah,
Deja Vu.
Yeah, Tony Scott likes to do the like all kinds of camera work. He does like a diagonal one for Crimson Tide, just like the submarine. Remember? And like even with Man on Fire, he's always doing that zoom in, zoom out thing. So
and I'm when you say that, I kind of remind myself of Chuck and James McGill.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of feeling I get.
Yeah, because Tony Scott's is a little bit wilder, but Ridley Scott I think is very different. He's always so calm with the camera,
and I think his work is very prestigious.
I think maybe that reflects their different personalities.
Yeah,
because Ridley Scott is so confident in his camera work. Remember, the ship is coming this way, and the camera is just there. But Tony Scott's like, fucking submarines this way, fucking this way. He got a bomb up his ass, and then you got to zoom in, zoom out, and he's getting tortured, so the camera just goes blur. Like remember in Man on Fire, that cigarette burn thing?
So I think Tony Scott is like washed with like Hollywood style editing.
Yeah.
Like the Jerry Bruckheimer style.
Yeah.
He's more Hollywood blockbuster style.
I think it's a different personality though. Twins can actually have different dress codes. So I think like those brothers are just different kind of guy. Ridley Scott is kind of the guy who goes to McDonald's and says, "Give me the fry," and then he keeps asking, "What the fuck did I mumble?" and then Tony Scott is just like, "Yo, give me the ketchup and the mustard. Tell me all about your menu. Tell me all about it." But Ridley Scott, I think he knows exactly what he wants, and he goes boom.
Or maybe Ridley Scott is the kind of guy who doesn't go to McDonald's at all. But true. Tony Scott loves it.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, like it's so funny how it's that's so interesting. Because if you think about it, the Coen brothers work together. So it's so interesting. It was so interesting to see a brothers do that, and how they're so. Maybe I guess Tony Scott tried to be different from his brother too. And this is just pure speculation, by the way. I'm sorry if this is too much, but I do feel like there's always a healthy rivalry there. But anyway,
both of them, they have like great movies in their filmography. I mean, Tony Scott. He made a lot of my favorite 90s action movies. I mean, look at that. Beverly Hills Cop.
Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the State.
Remember, Enemy of the State is so Tony Scott in the camera. I can do anything with this camera. Different from Ridley Scott.
Yeah, and Crimson Tide.
Oh, wow.
The Last Boy Scout. The Last Boy Scout. That was a good movie. A lot of people forgot about this. Yeah. But that's a banger.
Wow.
That's a great movie.
Oh, Deja Vu. See, Deja Vu is definitely Tony Scott joint.
Wow. The A-Team.
Wow. Man. No, but this might not all be directing.
Yeah, maybe
credit,
he's
though.
like a producer in some of these movies.
Yeah. He passed away in 2012. Oh, god damn it.
May you rest in peace.
Yeah.
There we go. Filmography. Director.
Oh, Beverly Hills Cops 2.
So with the A-Team, he was the producer.
Oh, yeah.
Man, The Hunger. Top Gun.
The Fan.
Days of Thunder. The Last Boy Scout. True Romance.
Yep. True Romance. Written by Tarantino.
Tide. The Fan. Wesley Snipes. Enemy of the State. Spy Game. Man on Fire. Domino. Deja Vu. Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Unstoppable. These are, I think, both train movies.
Yeah. I think it was a very popular back then because it started with a bus with a speed, and then they decided
we gotta stop the train now.
Yeah, let's try every vehicle in existence. I'm glad they. Anyway, but back to Ridley Scott. Oh, but I now that we're mentioning Ridley Scott, I do want a sequel to Alien Covenant, though.
Yeah, but I mean. There's no news of like a sequel to it, but we do hear news about a sequel for Gladiator.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what the story is going to be about. I mean, today we're talking. I mean, we kind of clickbaited with Napoleon, but
no, we didn't. It was an honest try.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Gladiator was such a big hit. Young kids now, I mean, today they will probably not know, but. Remember that Sopranos episode where what's his name?
Which one?
Where what's that piece of shit mafia guy who gets
Ralph Cifaretto.
Oh, Ralphie, that's right. Where Ralphie watches like the Gladiator, and he had just come back from the theaters, and he's so into it. Yeah, he's just keep like mentioning.
Yeah, when Gladiator dropped, it was about Gladiator.
Yeah,
like they spooked it in MTV. It was just all over the place. And when Russell Crowe, I think few people know this. He was a singer for a while after this. Like his popularity was so much that he sang, and it was amazing because Russell Crowe is still. Hey, I love Russell Crowe. He's such a great actor.
I think most recently I saw a movie. Well, not recently. A couple of years ago, I watched this movie called well, I don't remember the name, but it was about road rage. And this lady like honked at him really aggressively, and that kind of pissed Russell Crowe off, and he asks her to apologize. She refuses, and then he turns into like the serial killer.
Okay.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
And it was because of Russell Crowe, because he did such a great job. Oh, Unhinged. I think that was the name of the movie.
Yeah, he's very good at playing terrifying people. Because that's what he was known for in LA Confidential Playface. Like a hot-tempered guy.
That's right.
But unpopular opinion, but Alien looked better when it had that Reach of Future vibe. It did. I think that's like that whole generation was awesome. Because remember, Ridley Scott is such a progenitor of genius directors. His Alien inspired Aliens by
James Cameron.
Yeah. And like that whole like aesthetic, which of course Ridley Scott didn't invent, but he got it from that, I forget that famous artist.
The guy who did the drawing.
Yeah.
I forgot his name too.
Like his whole biomechanical sexual thing. He was amazing. He passed away, but like I have his like album at home, but it's amazing.
And that brought, this era of all these like space-based science fiction movies in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, movies like Species, those are all like inspired by Alien. Yeah.
I just found another theme common to Ridley Scott movies.
What's up?
Like, he has a very negative view of human beings. Like, I get this feeling that when he watches Barbie, he's gonna puke. He's gonna be like, ooh, disgusting. Like, you know how like, cause like look at it. Like for him, outer space is a hostile place. Human makes AI robots and they fuck with us. And then like humans are such piece of shits. Like like common throughout his movies. And here another thing, life is a tragedy. Life is a tragedy. He's definitely British, man. He's definitely British. I just remember I always liked this about Ridley Scott, but his movie, he has a very negative view of human beings. I think so. I think I can safely say that. I think that's why Gladiator was so popular, because it's one of the few movies that is actually like I don't know, like relatively hopeful. Relatively hopeful. And another thing, Ridley Scott hates religion. He thinks it's a fucking joke. He fucking hates religion.
Yeah. Watch Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think he might be spiritual, or he might like some aspects of religion, but I think he just has a very low trust of humanity and religion, like completely, because like, and his science fiction is also really about possibilities.
Yeah,
I think this is why sometimes I prefer Ridley Scott science fiction over Nolan's, because Nolan tries to really break it down, but for Ridley Scott, it's really about the magic. You know, I like that about his films. That's why I love Prometheus. It was a 2011 movie, I think, but it was such an homage to, remember like in 70s and 80s, if you look at old science fiction, it's always about going to like a mystical civilization. And there's this magicalness to it. And just like any Ridley Scott movie, people start to die at the end. But,
like bugs.
Yeah, you know, like I love his like fantastic elements to it. I get this.
And we mentioned earlier, he has great cinematography to match it.
I know. I mean, Prometheus, like, I still watch it again sometimes. I gotta be honest. Just for like, you know, when they arrive in the planet, and then when the horror starts, like, it's amazing. The people's skull face. Oh man!
You know, when I watch it again, I always just wonder, why did Charlize Theron like run away from that ship?
Oh yeah, she should have
just like run sideways.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're gonna mention that, I do think in some movies like that he does something like Nolan does too, where the character is sacrificed because he's always thinking about the bigger theme. And the problem with the Charlize Theron storyline was the father and daughter thing was like barely there. I like that because I think he was trying to say that, oh, here, like, you're an asshole dad to your daughter. What the fuck do you think the engineer is gonna say to you? Like, bad okay, here's another thing. Ridley Scott don't believe in parentage, I think. like if you're a good father, you get killed by your psycho son. And everyone like
Gladiator.
Yeah. Prometheus was
way too soft in comparison to what I expected to see, knowing it was derived from Alien.
Yeah, because it was PG-13.
Yeah. And we were really excited when it was announced. Yeah. But after watching it, I remember I was I had this mixed feeling. I thought it was okay, pretty good, but also I always had this feeling that it could have been more. And I was hoping that longing and that desire would be somehow fulfilled with the next movie, which was quite disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, Ridley Scott shouldn't have backed down. I think there was, like, that whole, like, dual, like, film has a very bad history because of the legacy of Alien. You know, people wanted Alien, and now they did Alien. They're like, we wanted more Prometheus. If I was Ridley Scott, I was like, fuck this. Oh, and Prometheus made Naomi Rapace a star. Like, she was known for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the original Swedish version, which is better than, I think,
the Hollywood remake.
The Hollywood remake was good too, but the Swedish original was also fantastic. If you didn't watch it, please watch it. It shows like Naomi Rapace how great an actor she is, like the range she can play. But I mean, I lost my train of thought again.
So let's
wrap up.
Yeah, I think we're hitting almost like 40 minutes here.
Oh man, we can talk about Ridley Scott forever.
Yeah, so I mean, before you lost like the first train of your thought, we were talking about how he was like a feminist.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that maybe not just Napoleon, but Josephine gets a lot of attention
in the
next Napoleon movie.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are a lot of stories about her too. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them is actually a lot of it is actually he said, she said. I think one of the accounts what is really recorded well is the letters they sent between each other. Because from Roman times, Western civilization is always good about like keeping letters. And by the way, a lot of them knew they were going to be published. So you got to keep that in mind too. So I think they're going to use that as a basis to at least the writer will. Ridley Scott won't give a fuck. The screenwriter will, and I think they're gonna put in a lot of imaginary work because there is a lot of imagination. Because even Marie Antoinette saying "I'd rather eat cake" is made up. There's actually no record of it. So the actual, I think, like relationship between Napoleon and Josephine was like very dry and loving. Like it wasn't like, but I think. It was such a scandal because Napoleon himself is a very controversial figure. Remember, he's a nobody from Corsica who was just a soldier, and then he just said, "Oh, look at this chaos! I guess I can do it," and then he just became emperor. So I think his story was like one of the original tabloid-like stories too, because because you got to remember, you got to put yourself back then. Everybody was like there was aristocrats and peasants. And here's a nobody who became king. He's kind of like China's Liu Bang in that, peasant becoming emperor is very rare. But it also invites a lot of attacks.
That's right.
Because you don't have any legitimacy. That's why I think Napoleon tried to compensate by calling himself emperor and everything. And Josephine is also a nobody. I think she was also like a criminal. I got to read it again, but I haven't catch up in Napoleon in a while. Because by the way, every guy secretly likes Napoleon, so I think this movie actually might be like for the boys, just like Kingdom of Heaven was for the boys or history buffs. I
mean, if you take it out of context, it could be another like a classic hero's journey. You have to answer this calling, and then you answer to the call. You go on a journey to go through all sorts of ordeals.
Well, but here's the thing, Wanjin. I don't think he's a hero. The Napoleon is a murderous motherfucker. Like, so I would say he's like an anti-hero. So I think he's more, because I think in Gladiator you can call it, okay, that's not a hero's journey. That's a fall and a revenge story. But this one, I think he's like Napoleon is a very rugged character. Like I think one of the trailers says you're just a little tyrant by Josephine, and you could argue because he was called a tyrant, and he pissed off a lot of people, especially the other kings who were shitting their pants, thinking that this could happen to them. And it's just like because what is a king anyway? If you've been king for hundreds of years, suddenly you have legitimacy, right? And that's why a lot of countries hate democracy and democracy hate dictatorship. And we can talk about this forever. But hey, I would actually call Napoleon. I do wonder this, though, Wonjin. I do wonder if they're gonna do the comeback for Napoleon. Remember, he was banished, and then he came back.
I don't think it's gonna go that far.
You think
because,
so?
I mean, judging from the trailer, because I mean, I think it's gonna end with him being banished.
Oh,
yeah,
not the comeback.
Yeah, not the comeback.
The comeback is amazing, though. Maybe the 4-hour version will have it because reportedly there's gonna be like another 4-hour version.
Oh
of
yeah,
this.
like a director's cut, just like Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. But anyway, I think my blood sugar is too low.
We need food
because in Korea right now it's almost 8 p.m. And me and Wonjin are hungry and Saturday night. So anyway, guys, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, thanks again to ZZ. Thank you for always being with us. We will remember you. There's another watching our stream. We can see you, but if you like, you can please leave a chat or a reply, and we will appreciate it. Me and Wonjin are brainstorming an icon for us that we've been doing for 2 years, and we still failed to do, but we will come up with something. But anyway, guys. Yeah.
And next week we will probably talk about Napoleon, of course.
Yeah.
It's opening next week, so we'll watch it. We'll come back and
Guy Ritchie's
tell you guys what we think. And Guy Ritchie's Covenant.
Yeah.
I watched it and without much expectation, it was surprisingly good.
Okay.
Well, in my opinion.
Yeah. And
we also have this animation called Blue Eye Samurai.
Okay.
Which is like strongly recommended by my friends. So
and Fargo season 5 is also dropping.
Right.
We're gonna watch that. Me and Wonjin, we're a big fan of that. So anyway, guys, that will be up in the agenda. If you guys have any show or movie or anything related to cinema you guys want us to talk about, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much. It has been Jojo Movie So Awesome. I was Joe.
I was Wonjin.
And we're gonna get some food.
All right, ZZ says Blue Eye Samurai so good.
Oh,
okay, even more reason to watch it.
Oh, we'll definitely watch it now. Thank you, ZZ. Anyway, see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
We love you, Ichan Hong. We love you, ZZ. We love the other 23 subscribers as well. We love you so much. Bye. Bloop. Ba-dum-bum-bum.